My hair is getting so long. Wow. Hello friends, thank you so much for being here. Today's video, I'm going to be going through my favorite top blushes of all time and swatching them for you and ranking them, so you will find out my top favorite blush in this video. So if you are interested in seeing and finding out my favorite blushes, then let's go. So like I said, I will be swatching them on my arm, but also on the face. I have 7 blushes in front of me. I've spoken about this palette before. So technically this is a face palette, but it does come with a blush, and the blush in here is so underrated. I think this might be the most underrated blush that I'm going to be talking about. And I'm talking about the Santorini Sun palette from Ulta Beauty. Y'all, don't sleep on Ulta Beauty. It is the only powder blush that I like. I am a cream liquid girly. I never wear powders, but this one, it's a beautiful baked formula. It has a really beautiful soft satin finish. So this is a heavy swatch for you. This color is so interesting. This is the most interesting color out of all of the ones I'm going to be talking to you about. So on my skin tone, this blush shows up kind of mauve-y, but it also looks very sunburnt. I love wearing this over top of other cream and liquid blushes. It really sets them into place. It is so soft to the touch, and that's why I feel like it blends into the skin so well. Like I said, I usually don't like powder blushes, but this one does not look dry. And for context, I do have dry skin. This one never looks dry. It's that baked formula, so it does have that soft texture and the slight luminosity, so that really helps. Okay, on the other side, I'm going to show you guys my next favorite. Coming in at number 6 is probably the most popular blush at this time, and I'm sure a lot of you can guess what it is. The Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Liquid Blush. And I have the shade Encourage. This is my favorite shade that I have, and this is the dewy formula. These come in both a dewy and matte formula. Like I said, Encourage, this shade is the dewy formula. This one is the best value for your money. So out of all of the ones that I'm talking about, if you want to get the most amount of product for the best price, it's going to be Rare Beauty. This comes with 0.25 fluid ounces, but this is so incredibly pigmented that you will literally never run out of this blush. So this is the shade Encourage. I'll just blend it out a little bit. As you can see, it was fully covering my tattoo. So these are mega pigmented. If you are working with these, I apply them in the center of my palms so they start to warm up with the warmth of my skin. And then I take a brush like this and I will swirl my brush in here. But even though this is really pigmented, it diffuses beautifully. It is not difficult to work with if you use that technique. If you try to go in straight in from the applicator onto your face, that will create some issues. So I definitely recommend putting it on a palette or onto your hand first. This is my longest wearing blush. And also, out of all of the blush lines that I'm going to be talking about, this one has my favorite color range. The colors in this range are absolutely beautiful, from pale peaches and pinks all the way to reds, plums, berries. Out of all of these, this one is going to be the most dark skin friendly. So if you have deep dark skin, these actually will show up on you. Moving on to number 5. This formula is just the Tower 28 Beach Please Cream Blushes. I've only have one color, and this is the shade Power Hour. This is my favorite fall blush. So this is the shade Power Hour. The pigment in these is extremely consistent. Sometimes when you're trying to work with creams, when you first swatch them, the pigment is most where you first swatch it, and then as you drag down, the pigment sometimes can be inconsistent, a little bit patchy, but these are not like that at all. What I love most about these, and what I think a lot of people would appreciate, is that you can dab just the tiniest little bit and get the tiniest wash of color, or you can really build these up. They're very flexible in that way. And they're very creamy, but after they dry down, they do feel a little bit powdery. They do set down. Say this isn't really going anywhere. So longevity wise, these are really, really nice. And it applies like a matte, like on the brush, it kind of feels like I'm tapping into a matte powder, but it applies like a cream. It's such a beautiful color. And I feel like if you are of a tan to deep skin tone, this would look so delicious. It would be like a very nice neutral red toned kind of blush. So that is a light wash of that. As you can see, it's not matte, but it's not necessarily dewy. It has just a very natural finish. And I just want to show you that you can build these up quite a bit. So I'm gonna go in, so at number 5, Tower 28 Beach Please blushes, specifically Power Hour. Coming in at number 4, I've talked so much about this blush. This is my favorite red blush of all time, and I'm talking about Milk Makeup's Flip Blush. This is their lip and cheek stick in the shade Flip. And this is a mini size, by the way. Normally they give you like way more product in this. This mini size comes with a lot. So honestly, I recommend if you are interested in Milk Makeup blush sticks, try to get a travel set. They always have these like on holiday time. I think this was like a Christmas edition set that I got from Sephora. I highly recommend getting those because I have never been able to finish the actual full size of anything from Milk Makeup. The finish of this just makes it look so juicy. It's like a juicy red apple. So I sheared it out a little bit, and depending on your skin tone, your undertone, it could look a little bit more pinky. And I like to go in and straight paint it onto the brush. I don't really like to paint it directly onto the face because I do find that if I do that, it's going to take away some of the foundation. This is a perfect summer shade. If you are my skin tone or darker and you have not tried red blushes, what you doing, mate? Like, this is the perfect red blush for summer. There was a time where I literally could not wear anything else. You see, it has just such a youthful kind of appearance to the skin. Now, out of the other ones that I've talked about already, this one is the least long lasting. It doesn't last as long as the other 3 that I spoke about. But like the Tower 28 one, you can get, a light wash of pigmentation, or you can really go in and build this one up. Apply more if you want a longer lasting effect. Quick side note before we get to the top 3 blushes, I just want to make it clear that even though some are lower than others, all of these are phenomenal, and I recommend all of these. Above all, formula, reliability, wear time, the texture, how smooth it is most important over what the actual color is. So, top 3 blushes. Coming in at number 3, along with the Milk Makeup one, this is another favorite blush to wear during the summertime. Last summer, I could not stop wearing this. It was every single day I literally wore this blush. I've spoken about it before on my channel. It is the Undone Beauty Lip to Cheek palette in the shade Rosewood. These are so interesting because they come with 3 different levels of pigmentation. So if you're looking at the compact this way, it goes from the lightest, medium, and then most pigmented is at the bottom. So here I've swatched the different levels of pigmentation, starting at the top with the lightest. This is the sheerest kind of wash you can get, then medium, and then this is full on pigmentation. This formula out of all 7 is the most traditional cream type of formula, and it stays emollient throughout the day. Of course, if you use setting powder, anything like that, that can change the finish of it. But if you do not touch this, it is truly an emollient cream kind of finish on the skin. So I usually just take my brush and just dab like twice in here, and like with a lot of the other ones, I do tap off the excess into my palm. This one is also really long lasting. Even if you use the sheerer side of the compact, this one really hugs the skin, really melts into the skin. It's a bit of like a burnt orange, terracotta-y, kind of peachy color. It has that creamy, dewy kind of finish. Now this next one, the color is so unique and exactly what I've been looking for, and I'm talking about the REM Beauty Lip and Cheek Stick in the shade Front Row Center. I was looking for a more like neutral, slightly pinky tone of blush, and I was just having such a hard time trying to find it. But this color, I know it looks like a little bit orangey, but applied onto my skin tone, it turns into this really beautiful terracotta brown pink shade. Just like with the Milk Sticks, I do directly apply this onto my brush. My favorite thing about this blush is that it goes with everything. When I don't know what blush to wear, to pair with my eyes, to pair with my lips, this is the blush that I wear. And before I got the next blush that I'm going to mention, I could not stop wearing this. I wear this every single day because it's just so easy. So if you have a similar skin tone and you want an everyday go-to blush that's not too warm, that's not too pink, just not too much of anything, this color, Front Row Center, is the one for you. Now I know none of y'all are going to be able to guess what this #1 blush is. I think I've only featured it once on my channel, and it actually, ironically, is the newest blush to my collection. So, you know it's a good one if it's already surpassed all of these other blushes that I've had for years. I've known the formulas way longer, had way more time to play with them. But specifically for the color of this blush, that is mostly why this is my top #1 favorite. Ever since I've gotten this blush into my collection, I literally have not worn another blush. And this one is the Item Beauty Blush and Like Cream Blush, and it's verified. The formula as well is the most interesting formula out of all 7 that I've talked about. It feels like a powder, and I would consider this a cream. I would say it feels very much like a dry mousse, if that makes any sense. Unfortunately, this is also the hardest blush out of them all to get your hands on. I don't know what's going on. I think Item Beauty is done for. I guess they are just discontinuing everything, but you can get these on the Flip app. So I highly recommend. I've spoken about the Flip app many times before. It is the best place to buy makeup. You get 30% off of your order, and I think you have to spend at least $20 to get free shipping. And right now, I guess Item Beauty, they're trying to just sell everything that's left in their stock. So everything from Item Beauty on the Flip app is highly discounted. I think these blushing like blushes, I think there's only 4 colors. They're literally $6. None of these other blushes come with a mirror, but this one does. It's such a thin, really cute compact. I am so sad for Item Beauty. I actually really liked everything I tried. Their concealer, their lip quips, which are like their lip glosses, and this blush. So I'm so sad to see them go. This color, it's just my favorite color. Like, there's no dewiness to this. It literally feels invisible. I can keep going and keep going, and it doesn't apply too much. So I would say this is the most user-friendly blush out of all of the ones I've tried. And you can't go overboard, so you really can't ever mess up your makeup. Alongside it not being readily available, another con is that this is not the longest wearing blush. And honestly, that isn't really like the hugest con to me because this does fade away very naturally. Unlike like the Tower 28 Milk Makeup ones, it's just not really going to get more intense than this. Okay, so before I go, I just swatched all of them in order so you could see how the colors and finishes compare to one another. So starting off with number 7, this is the Ulta Beauty. Next is Rare Beauty, Tower 28, Milk Makeup, Undone Beauty, Rem Beauty, and at number 1, Item Beauty. I feel like this would be a really sick tattoo, eh? So that is all for me today, guys. I hope that you found this informative and interesting and found some new blushes to try out. Like, comment, subscribe. You already know the drill. I'm sending you guys so much love and light. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.